From the vacation capital of the world, it's the Nick Carioti Show.
We are going to jump right into our conversation with attorney at law, William Strawcutter. Good morning, William.
Doing well.
All right. So, William, great to have you back on the show again. I appreciate you coming back on.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
Wonderful. And didn't mean to get you up too early in the morning. I know you got plans on Sunday and such, but we always appreciate you putting in the time for us. All right. So now, when I first met you a few years back, William, I was absolutely intrigued by your past experiences and the things that kind of brought you to the place you are today in life. For our new listeners, can you tell them a little bit about yourself and what it is you do?
Sure. I'd be happy to. Well, I'm originally from Michigan, and like most Northerners that experience Florida, once I got used to the sun, the decision to go back just wasn't no longer on the table.
Sure.
So really fell in love with Florida. And I grew up, my father is a pastor of a church in Michigan, and I was around ministry and preachers my whole life. Mm-hmm. And so for a good portion of my time, I was in public ministry. I pastored a small community church in southeast Michigan.
Yeah.
And so for a good season of my life, that's what I did.
Yeah.
But I found that it prepared me for law in a different way, and kind of focused my attention on the issues that just face people in life.
Yeah.
So we tried to do what we can to handle the issues that families and people talk about around the coffee table.
Yeah.
And that's why we try to step in and do what we can. So that's a little bit about me and why I practice law the way I do.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think a lot of people out there might look at that as a unique transition from pastor to attorney, but I find it to be a perfect transition when you think about it. It just gives you a different perspective on things, and when it comes down to just simply doing the right thing for people, I mean, what better path can you have?
Well, that's right. It really did allow me to hone in on more of the people issues.
Yes.
Is what I like to say. It's just what affects Main Street, and we do what we can. We try.
Absolutely, and you do a good job of it. We appreciate that. Now, although it's second nature for you and I, can you tell our listeners a little bit about the difference between a short sale, a foreclosure, and even possibly a deed in lieu?
Sure. Let's start with the foreclosure.
Right.
Excuse me. Florida is a judicial state when it comes to a foreclosure, and what that means is if a lender wishes to foreclose on a note, mortgage, on their secured interest, they have to bring that foreclosure action through the courts here in Florida.
Right.
Whereas in other states in the country, it may be a non-judicial state. So the bank can actually just foreclose on that note and mortgage, and that's it. They foreclose.
Right.
Here in Florida, they have to serve you. You have an opportunity to respond. You have an opportunity to be represented in court, etc., when it involves a foreclosure. So the foreclosure is a legal action that must take place in Florida courts.
Yeah.
And when there is a judgment, if they ever obtain a judgment against you in that foreclosure, that is where your house can be sold at an auction, and title will transfer to someone else.
Right.
And so that's what a foreclosure is.
Okay.
A short sale is when that distressed property is sold for short of what's owed on.
Right.
So a short sale does not necessarily mean it's going to go very quickly, but rather that property is being sold for short of what's owed on it. And banks will oftentimes do that. The lender will do that when the property is distressed, but they have control